Dear students, this is lecture 3 on chapter 3, book 1, Gulliver's Travels. As we finished with this particular paragraph, and we'll begin from this point. Here, Gulliver's paramount desire is to gain his liberty, while the cabinet or the other members of the Lilliputian government are quite eager to provide Gulliver his expected liberty. It is only Skyrish Bolgolam who opposes to Gulliver's gaining his liberty. As Gulliver puts it in the text, but it was carried against him by the whole board and confirmed by the emperor. That minister was Galbet, that is Skyrish Bolgolam, as Gulliver is describing or giving the details about Skyrish Bolgolam. The minister was Galbet, or admiral of the realm, very much in his master's confidence, and a person well versed in affairs, but of a morose and sour complexion. So it is from this segment we can kind of confirm or kind of we can guess that Skyrish Bolgolam could be the Earl of Nottingham, the peer who opposed Swift's candidacy for bishop. It was in real life Earl of Nottingham who opposed Swift's candidacy, and it hindered Swift from becoming a bishop. Though a Tory, Nottingham was a Tory, he did not support the peace efforts of Oxford's Tory government, and thus became the object of Swift's displeasure. He is called Dismal here because of his looks, as in Swift's poem Toland's Invitation to Dismal, which was published in 1712. He was reported to have accused Swift of impiety before Parliament in 1714. Because of these allegations that the Earl of Nottingham raised before the Parliament in 1714 regarding Swift, it hindered Swift getting a position of a bishop. That is why, and again, Swift criticizes or satirizes this Earl of Nottingham under this fictitious name of Skyrish Bolgolam. However, he was at length persuaded to comply, but prevailed that the articles and conditions upon which I should be set free and to which I must swear should be drawn up by himself. But this Bolgolam is not so easy a person to tackle. He decides to form or contrast or create the articles and conditions upon which Gulliver is to be set free. The articles were brought to me by Skyrish Bolgolam in person, attended by two under secretaries. Here in this segment, in the entire segment, Swift presents the political manners. That is, as I read it out, you'll understand. After they were read, that is, the articles and conditions, I was demanded to swear to the performance of them, first in the manner of my own country, and afterwards in the method prescribed by their laws, which was, and the law goes like this: to hold my right foot in my left hand and to place the middle finger of my right hand on the crown of my head, and so on. So this is the hollowness or emptiness of the political manners that Swift presents and satirizes through this description. That is the style and manner of expression peculiar to that people. Gulliver actually presents these manners as being peculiar to the Lilliputians. And moving on to the next segment, here you can, as I will read it out for you. In this particular segment, the emperor of the Lilliputians is described or presented. What you have to do is read it carefully or concentrate, or you try to analyze the way this emperor is presented so that you can find out the nature of the Lilliputians or the point of satirizing the Lilliputians as Swift is doing here. The name of the emperor is so large that it it exceeds a single line. The name of, and it comprises 8 words, and the name is Golbasto, Mumarem, Evlame, Gurdilo, Stefan, Muli, Wuli, Gu. So this is the name of the emperor, which is a Lilliputian, who is a small, minuscule creature. But the name is so big. So look at the description. He is described as the delight and terror of the universe, whose dominions extend 5,000 balstrums to the extremities of the globe, monarch of all monarchs, taller than the sons of men, whose feet press down to the center and whose head strikes against the sun. So, a Lilliput who is so small, who is minuscule, but the way he is eulogized or the way he is presented, it says that his head strikes even the sun. At whose nod the princes of the earth shake their knees. So this is the power of the Lilliputian emperor. Pleasant as the spring, comfortable as the summer, fruitful as autumn, dreadful as winter, his most sublime majesty proposes to the man mountain. This is how the emperor is presented. So what you have to do is look at the description of the emperor of Lilliput. The way this primitive, minuscule Lilliputian is presented by his subjects is marked by vanity, pride, and claim of superiority. The name of the emperor extends over a line in the text, and it comprises 8 words. The entire chapter, along with this particular segment, shows that the Lilliputians are living under a corrupt and autocratic monarch. What is worse than that is the members in the court, they do not resist or protest to this autocracy or corruption, but they seem quite willing to let themselves getting corrupted. Here, Sid points out that it is the evil in the character of the Lilliputians that allow them to perform these disgraceful activities. Thus, to purge or to cure the human character is very important to cure the political system. Therefore, if the human character is cured, the political system will be cured, as if there is no evil in the human nature, they would not engage or indulge in any immoral or disgraceful act. Again, Swift draws a kind of connection between the Lilliputian corruption, that is the corruption of the government, and the vice of pride that is lurking in these tiny creatures. Their pride looms large, or kind of their pride becomes obvious when we see that the Lilliputians try to dictate Gulliver through terms and conditions for his proposed liberty. And again, Bolgolam, for no reason at all, or for some unknown reason, he presumes Gulliver as his enemy. It is Bolgolam's sense of pride and his inflated ego that blinds him to realize that if Gulliver wishes, he can do anything to destroy him. At this point of time, Swift seems to point out that a corrupt government is a result of evil that is lurking in human beings. Here, their pride is their evil. Lilliputians in general and Bolgolam in particular is to he in particular he fails to recognize the fact that they are actually minuscule and they can be helpless in front of this gigantic Gulliver. But despite the fact they try to control Gulliver, so it is in their lack of realization of their self, that is quote unquote self, leads to their lack of understanding the fact that how weak they are in relation to this giant Gulliver whom they attempt to control. Interestingly, it is the contrast that Swift skillfully presents between their physical size and their sense of pride becomes the source of laughter that appeals to the humor of the readers. So it is in the contrast between their physicality, their physical size, and their sense of pride, which is so big, which is so large, which is so inflated. It is in the comparison, or it is in this contrast lies the source of laughter, which appeals to the humor of the readers. Now, moving on, we will see the conditions or the articles upon which Gulliver was set free. Now, the first four conditions, as I have commented here, the first 4 points concern over the safety of the Lilliputians. As I will read it out for you. The first article is, the Man Mountain shall not depart from our dominions without our license under our great seal. So there will be a seal and a license without which Gulliver cannot depart. So this is how they try to control Gulliver. The second article is, he shall not presume to come into our metropolis without our express order. Gulliver needs order to roam around the land of Lilliputians, and he cannot, his activities or his movements are to be restricted. In point 3, again the restrictions are mentioned. The said Man Mountain shall confine his works to our principal high roads, and not offer to walk or lie down in a meadow or field of corn. Number 4. As he walks the said roads, he shall take the utmost care not to trample upon the bodies of any of our loving subjects, their horses or carriages, nor take any of our subjects into his hands without their own consent, which is good, because it is for the safety of the Lilliputians. But sorry. But the next articles, that is 5, 6, 7, 8, In these articles, Gulliver's service to the land of Lilliputians is emphasized. All these articles deal with the fact that how Gulliver can be utilized, or how Lilliputians can make use of Gulliver through, and they can use Gulliver to serve their purposes, be it military or be it civil. The fifth article is, if an express requires extraordinary dispatch, the man mountain shall be obliged to carry. So he has to perform the civil duties as well. He has to carry the passengers. The number 6 is, he shall be our ally against our enemies. This is our military conduct, and Gulliver has to perform the military activities as well, where he would be an ally against their enemy in the island of Blefuscu, and do his utmost to destroy their fleet. This is the cruelty, this is the violence that I have been seeing time and again looming large or lurking in the small minuscule Lilliputians. They wish to destroy their neighbor. As again, Blefuscu, the island, the people of Blefuscu, they are also preparing to invade the Lilliputians. Number 7, the said man mountain shall, at his times of leisure, be abiding and assisting to our workmen in helping to raise certain great stones towards covering the wall, and so on. So Gulliver has to perform these activities as well. Number 8, that the said man mountain shall in 2 moons' time deliver in an exact survey of the circumference of his own passes round the coast. Lastly, that upon this solemn oath to observe all the above articles, the said man mountain shall have a daily allowance of meat and drink sufficient for the support of 1724 of our subjects, with free access to our royal person and other marks of our favor. These are the 8 articles upon which Gulliver was granted his liberty. I'll just quickly sum it up. As Bolgulum stipulates 9 conditions. The first, Gulliver must not depart from Lilliput without official permission. Second, Gulliver must not enter the great city without official permission and at least 2 hours warning. Third, Gulliver must walk on the high roads and not walk or lie down in the meadows or farms. Fourth, when Gulliver walks on the roads, he must take great care not to trample the Lilliputian people or their horses, nor is he allowed to take any Lilliputian into his hands unless the citizen so consents. Fifth, Gulliver must put himself at disposal of the emperor as a messenger for a period of 6 days in every moon. Sixth, Gulliver must fight for the Lilliputians in their war against their enemies, the Blefuscudians. Seventh, in his leisure time, Gulliver shall aid the Lilliputian workmen in their lifting of heavy stones for construction work. Eighth, Gulliver must in 2 months' time deliver to the emperor an exact survey of the circumference of our dominions by a computation of his own passes round the coast, as you can see here. Ninth and the last one, on the condition of his swearing to observe the above 8 articles, Gulliver shall have a daily allowance of meat and drink sufficient for the support of 1728 Lilliputians. And Gulliver got curious as to know how these Lilliputians decided the number, that is 1724, to which he was told that Sometime after asking a friend at court how they came to fix on the determinate number, he told me that His Majesty's mathematicians, having taken the height of my body, that is the as I was saying, that they are very skillful in mathematics, they are very expert in mathematics. The mathematician, they measured the height of the body of the Gulliver by the help of a quadrant, and finding it to exceed days in the proportion of 12 to 1, they concluded from the similar of their bodies that mine must contain at least 1724 of these, and consequently would require as much food as was necessary to support the numbers of Lilliputians. So it is crucial mathematics. It is crucial calculations, upon which this Lilliputian decided that it is the fooding, or the kind of meat and drink of 1724 Lilliputians would suffice Gulliver to live on. Finally, this proves, that is, this intense or this crucial calculation, the mathematical precision, the sense of reason and perfection, all of these are satirized. They are actually presented to satirize by Swift the idea of enlightenment, because all of these, the reason, precision and perfection, are major characteristics of the idea of enlightenment. Thank you.